Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this update we're going to talk about what survived the aftermath of last Wednesday's slight monetary policy message tweak, and where are we now after Powell's first appearance since that time where he was testifying in front of the House about the emergency lending programs and those current policies. So, where are we now? What survived that onslaught? So let's go to a 1 month view on FinViz to look at, what has been able to keep a certain amount of strength. And it's actually a pretty short list. And that just goes to show you just how much the upheaval of that reflation trade, which we saw, heading higher for the better part of the year, how much that's affected commodities. So the easiest place, both as a futures trader and an equities trader, the easiest place right now is energy. And energy then makes it really simple to be focused on natural gas, crude oil, RBOB, heating oil. And it also allows us to focus on things like XLE, OIH, and XOP. XOP is actually the trend that's faring the best right now. And the reason it is the most bullish, I believe, it's because of these three, it's the only one that is not a high concentration weighted ETF. Go figure, but that's where we are. So I love that part of the market, but we have to acknowledge that our trending markets have been an ever receding pool of names that are hanging on to the double green. And because of that, and by the way, let's talk about the indices for a moment. Look at the Dow down here. The Dow, which had been doing quite well because it benefits so well from the reflation trade, down here. But what's doing quite well? Look at the Nas. Tech coming on and taking the S&P with it. So, three places I'm actually still pretty optimistic. Energy, and you can see that group right here at the top. These two indices, the Nas and the S&P. And then finally, I'm actually quite bullish the long bond, the 30-year. Those are the three places that I'm focusing going forward. Now, the other question comes up, what about gold? Gold's going to have to prove itself a little bit more to me, but I do believe that we're seeing an odd unwind of some of the inflation hedges, including Bitcoin. But right now, the trends that I like, almost a week after, well, as of tomorrow, it'll be a week after Jerome Powell's shift in messaging, the three places that I like are energies, the indices, specifically the NASDAQ and the S&P, and finally the long bond. And so in that regard, when we get into the premium video, I'll talk about the stocks and the ETFs that we can use to put on the longer term overnight swing trades, trend following swings, where I'm looking at maybe about 3 days to even 3 weeks of follow through. We'll talk about why I prefer day trading the NASDAQ and the S&P to the long side. We talked about that this morning in the opening session, where we did the work on the daily, and the daily said even before the 9:30 bell, focus on the Nas to the long side, focus on the S&P. And even though everything did tend to benefit from a rising tide, these two were the clearest. These two were the crispest at their support levels. It wasn't a lot of spongy action to move higher, bounce right off support and moved higher. And that's what we want to see, that crispness at the price levels that we are anticipating support at. All right, so that kind of runs the gamut through the different time frames that I'm focused on. And again, a lot of these philosophies, and by the way, a lot of the tools that I use are available at countdowntrader.com. Check it out. You'll actually notice the last handful of updates here are my day trading system, talking about winners and losers, and the 4 factors that dominate the kind of trading that I do. And that is, of course, price, time, volume, and volatility. You get a hold of these 4 factors, you're going to see the market in a way that other traders simply cannot. So check out that 4 factors. It doesn't matter if it's day trading or end of day trading, imagine it's just 4 factors for trading, period. But one of the things that I'm super excited about, kind of being more fluent in and fluid in our time frames and time horizons, is, the thing that I'm super excited about is the fact that for the first time ever, I'm going to be talking about the emphasis of the daily time frame and even sometimes the weekly on my day trading. And the fringe benefit of this is, even though my upcoming class, and I'm sure you guys have heard about it already, even though my upcoming class is a day trading class, the fact of the matter is, so much of it is going to make you a better, longer-term time frame trader as well. In other words, you're going to be finding opportunities on the daily time frames while you're setting up your day as a day trader. And I love that we can do that, mesh those two parts of our trading lives together, take advantage of longer-term trends. My confidence as a day trader in buying the NAS is also going to influence the fact that I should not be bearish the NAS. So you see, it's going to benefit both sides of your trading life, and it will all come together in this day trading class that we're doing this coming Saturday. So super stoked about that. Can't wait to see you all there. Remember, we've got probably the biggest indicator upgrade and package that comes with the class that I've ever done. The V-score signals, the Darvis signals, the volume flags. What else? There's a whole bunch of stuff that's included with the HPMRs, the current HPMR settings that I'm using right now. So there's a lot that's going to be included from an indicator standpoint. So I cannot wait to see you all there. But in the meanwhile, please remember the way in which this hierarchy of names and the 1 month relative performance are telling us where the structure still is. All right, gang, I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.